So it's a warm welcome, guys. Today's session is based on Advanced Agile Coach. What exactly Advanced Agile Coach is, what is Principal Agile Coach, what is Expert Agile Coach, and what is Enterprise Agile Coach. What exactly these coaches are doing, what is their roles and responsibilities basically, and why these coaches are so important for any organization, for any particular project, and what these coaches will do in those particular projects in that particular organization. So we will see these things. Today is a day 24th and this is first part, and second part I will provide you Monday. So let's see what exactly our today's agenda. So today's agenda is what is agile coaching, why it is so important, what is being agile and doing agile. So what is basically the difference between these from agile coach point of view, what is interlock roles, means what exactly agile coach, product owners and agile managers roles and responsibilities. So this is our third topic. Fourth topic is when to coach the team and when to coach individuals. So this is basically a difference, guys, and if you identified this difference, then your life will be very easy. Skills for coaching team members, product owners, managers and stakeholders. This is our fifth point. Sixth point is coaching style and when to use them. So what kind of coaching styles are available and when you can use these coaching styles. So this is our sixth point. Seventh point is setting up the environment for high performance teams. So how to set it up and how to make your team always high performing team. So this is our 7.8 point is detecting and solving problem. So what kind of problems will you face when you are appointed as an agile coach and how to resolve those problems. Now ninth point is starting up great team, repairing existing teams. Existing team means the team which is already working in agile or already started agile journey, but due to some reason they are constantly facing a failurity. And 10th point is agile coach failures, recoveries and success model. So why agile coach or why agile process is failed, uh, percentage wise. Say for example 20 80 or 30 70%. So what is 20%, what is 80%? So I am giving that particular difference. So first we will start with what is agile coaching and why it is important. Okay, so in my first point, I'm providing you why exactly Agile Coach is important. So guys, Agile Coach is important because there are few bullet points which I'm telling you first. Knowledge of Agile ideas, Agile coaching with an open mindset, qualities of an Agile coaches, dealing with conflicts, participant, patience and persistence. These are the specific skills agile coach have, and why it is important. So knowledge of agile ideas, yeah, definitely knowledge of agile idea is very important when you are running this particular role. At that time not only agile and scrum is your part of area, but also you should know a basic difference between methods and frameworks such as lean framework, scrum framework, devops. SecOp is one of a new framework is available, continuous deliveries, scale agile frameworks and so on. So there are lot many frameworks are available, but at least you should know those frameworks which are currently used in our uh, software industries. So these are few frameworks which are very popular in our current day-to-day software lives. So agile coach basically know in and out about these every framework. Agile coach should know from where to start this framework, how to implement this framework, when to improve this framework, and so on. So basically, Agile coach required the idea with knowledge of Agile. Now, Agile coaching with an open mindset. So, guys, why open mindset? So, Agile coach will place a great demand on their personal versatility. Like Agile working is relatively new, and it is still in the development phase. I'm saying that. Uh, so, as an agile coach, you need to continuously open to new techniques, tools, and insights. When you are working as an agile coach, at that time you have to keep your mind open. You have to keep your learning curves open, because you don't know when and where you will learn something which is really new and which you can utilize in your agile way implementation while you are doing practice with your team or with your project. I'm giving a very simple example. I'm always learning a lot many things from my surroundings. Sometimes I'm learning from my peers, my juniors. Sometimes I'm learning from my seniors also. And sometimes when I'm traveling through road, or when I'm sitting just in my balcony by just viewing the nature, at that time also I'm learning lot many things, how nature is doing or how nature is making changes. Mostly say for example, for few minutes before it's a sunny environment, and after few minutes it's a cloudy environment. But when it uh, convert into the cloudy environment, slowly how nature progresses. And then when exactly the rain is started, before rain what exactly this how exactly the sky is look like. So this is something really new for me. Not I'm not saying that I haven't seen it before, but every time I'm learning something new. And when I'm learning something new, I'm trying to implement it when I'm approaching any project newly as an agile coach, or when I'm approaching any team newly as an agile coach. So you have to make your mind open, you have to open your learning curves, and easily you can implement these things are not a big thing, or I'm not saying not a tedious thing. These are very simple things which you can easily acquire. Third point is quality of an agile coach. So agile coach is always a good listener, who always listen their peers, their colleagues, and their teams, even their management, their client. Agile coach is trying to identify what exactly these team or team members want to say. After that, agile coach need to find out what exactly their goal, where exactly they are right now, what exactly they are trying to say, and what exactly their goal. So agile coach should be first a very good listener. Second, he or she should be very calm always, and very polite when communicating with anyone, with his team member, with his management, with his client, anyone. He or she should be very polite. Now, after listening the problem, agile coach replicate the same problem and asking the team members, or asking the person that after listening you, I'm sitting on this conclusion that so and so is exactly your problem, or you want to say so and so. This will be a minimum line, or in a minimum word which you can ask them. Why this is? Because you want to ensure that you both are on same platform, you both are on same understanding. After that only you can suggest them something, like some sort of solutions, or some sort of new ways, or some sort of new ideas. So this is the reason agile coach should be a good listener. Agile coach should have a good qualities. Dealing with conflicts, guys. In an entire agile coach life, mostly 70 to 75% area goes in a dealing with conflicts. Maybe it's a technical conflict, maybe it's a communication conflict, maybe it's a response or impediment, or dealing with management, dealing with client, dealing with team members, dealing with internal teams, dealing with two team members in a same team or in a different team. So these many conflicts are arises in agile coach life, and agile coach should be good to deal in those conflicts. What kind of these conflicts? I will provide you this information in today's session in some sort of later on slides. Now, after this, participate sorry patience and persistence always. So what exactly this? So developing an agile mindset is usually a difficult process. Don't expect everyone to be positive about a new way of working right away. Some people needs more time than others. Focus on those things which are going well, and above all, keep looking forward. Changes always take more time than you think. So maybe if I'm giving an example, I am dealing with two teams. One is a hard team, second is a completely fresh and new team. Fresh and new team maybe acquire or adopt the changes very easily and very early, but hard team who are working from last so many years in particular fashion, these team member may not acquire that much fastly. These team member take some time, and after that these team members ready to acquire these things. So this is basically a difference, guys, and you have to deal with it. You have to give that much time to those team members. If you are not giving that much time, then maybe uh, in going forward or in future you may face issues, because team members are not agree. They are forcefully moved from their traditional methodology to their agile methodology, and this is the reason they are keeping these things in their mind, that we are forcefully uh, pushed in this way. This way is not proper. So this is the reason, give some sort of time. Now what does an agile coach do? So basically agile coach is a person who provide the entire roadmap of agile. First, agile coach get to know which with which team agile coach is dealing, and with which team agile coach is working. Does that team completely aware about agile, or does that team have just a knowledge, or just they heard something about agile, or does that team is completely fresh, they only know the word agile, apart from that they doesn't know anything. So you have to identify these things, you have to arrange trainings for them, you have to refresh their knowledge, you have to provide them a entirely fresh knowledge. Lot many ways are there which I already provided you in my previous session. You can apply anyone. After that, when you are starting agile in particular any of project, first you have to understand what exactly that project is, what is the important of that project in organization and at client side. Third thing is what kind of work particular team members are doing when those team members are doing that particular work. Is it a something repetitive work these guys are doing, or is it something where these guys are daily working or daily dealing with new challenges or new work? You have to identify all these things. Based on this information, you have to create a complete roadmap, from where you have to start, where you have to say now we are in a middle, and where you can say that now it's a time to improve my process. Now when you are starting your agile with any particular team or with any particular project, at that time first few hours or first few weeks or 1 or 2 months, you have to provide them to make massive mistakes. But based on this condition, they should not repeat the same mistake again. Every time they have to do a new mistake, and those mistakes are not done purposefully. those mistakes are done because they don't know, or they have some sort of confusions, or they have some sort of uh, disabilities in those areas. This is the reason they made those kind of mistakes. So based on this condition, you can allow them to make mistakes. When team members doing mistake, at that time provide them a guidance, coaching, make these mistakes in a correction, and then provide them this correction way also, like how to correct their mistake. On same time, do not blame anyone. Agile never says to blame anyone at any cost or at any place. Agile always says support everyone. If team members are doing mistakes, support them, not for doing mistake, but to make correction in their mistakes. So these are few first step. After starting your agile process, slowly monitor the agile process. Make sure that entire team with management and with client also, everybody is following agile ways. You have already provided them 12 principles, guidelines, all the set of guidelines and all the set of ways. So everybody is following those things. If anyone have any issue, any problem, you have to resolve it. Now when you are monitoring them, if these guys has any kind of problem, these guys may approach you. You may resolve this problem in one-on-one sitting, or maybe in a bunch of team members communication. You can resolve those problems. Now monitor their daily task. Monitor means you have to just visit their daily task. You have to view what exactly these guys are doing in their day-to-day work, and how these guys are dealing with their day-to-day work. So by this way, guys, you can easily communicate with them. You can easily provide them some sort of areas of improvement. Now this is regarding agile coach fashion. Now if I am saying doing agile and being agile, so doing agile means you just need not required to provide doing agile means follow the process and tick the boxes. This is something like doing agile. I am following all the rules, I am following all the principles, I am running all the ceremonies, I am attending all the ceremonies. This is doing agile. You are not exactly working in agile fashion. You are just doing agile, or you are bothered to transform yourself in agile. But being agile means using it to become a best product development and management, organize it and innovate it so that it can make your project, your deliveries more and more visible. Now the right thinking is needed to get for being agile, and this is why it's a difference between doing agile and being agile. I'm giving a very simple example. I have a person who wearing a medium size t-shirt. Now in doing agile and being agile, I am providing this person as a sample and providing a requirement that team has to made a particular t-shirt for this particular person. Now in doing agile, I have provided the information that we require t-shirt which will fitted for this particular person. I haven't provided the measurement. It's a job of team members to get the measurement and create or find out a proper t-shirt for that particular person. But this team, because following all the ceremonies, norms and rules and regulations, this is the reason this team only provide me a t-shirt, either that t-shirt is in a small size or that t-shirt is in extra large size, which is not fitted to that particular person. But being agile team members first visit that person, get the entire estimations, get the entire things from that particular person, and then based on that information, which color is suitable for that particular person, which size of t-shirt is suitable for that particular person, get these all estimations, and based on these estimations, that particular team provide the t-shirt to that man, and that t-shirt will perfectly fitted. So this is basically a difference between being agile and doing agile. Now guys, interlocking roles with agile coach, product owner, and agile managers. So if I am talking about agile coach responsibilities, it's very simple. Agile coach should be or agile coach should first find out what kind of process, organization, or project or team is running, how that particular process need to refine, by which way I have to refine it, how to make it more and more collaborative and more success rate, or how to provide more and more effective ways, so that that particular process will provide more and more success to management and client. Managing ad hoc requests for help to strangers. So this is one of agile coach responsibilities. Welcome changes, but not only welcome, find out the way where exactly these changes will fitted in entire product or in entire process. So this is also the responsibility of agile coach. If team members are making any mistake, or if more than one teams making mistakes, maybe this mistake is once upon a time, or maybe repetitive mistakes, then it's a job of agile coach to jump in, find out what exactly the root cause for those mistakes, why those mistakes are repeated uh, constantly by teams, and what kind of solution we can apply there, and how to rectify it, how to stop these kind of mistakes. So this is again agile coach responsibility. Collaboration between stakeholders and higher management, clients management, find out the root cause analysis if escalations are happens. Also, while finding out root cause analysis, provide a justifiable reasons. Non-justifiable reasons are not applicable by agile coach. So this is one of the thing. Always provide motivations to team members, because sometimes team members face that we are working very well, we are working very hard, but due to some reason management is not appreciating it, or client is not providing appreciation on our work. So this is somewhere demotivate the team members. So always it's a job of agile coach and scrum master to provide the motivations to team members and their work. If they had done any small thing, still you have to provide them a motivation, because when you are giving a motivation, at that time team started their work with double force. So this is the reason these motivations are important. Devoting enough time with every team for which you are appointed as an agile coach or enterprise agile coach, and communicate with them. It may be a general talk, it may be a technical talk, it may be a process related talk, anything, but you have to deal maximum time with your team members, and try to find out is there any person who are facing some issue but not communicated those issue to scrum master or product owner due to shyness, or due to lacking communication problem, or due to some other reason. So you have to find out these things and you have to resolve it. Leaders who are expect miracle to appear quickly, so this is maybe leadership's role, or maybe these are the expectations always from leaderships. So you have to deal with these issues also, and you have to communicate with leaders that it's not possible that overnight something will happen and you will get the success. You have to provide some sort of time to get the success. You have to provide some sort of breathing space to team members, so that team member can work well and provide you much better results every time. So these are some sort of agile coach responsibility. Product owner responsibilities are as usual to communicate with client management, deal with clients business stakeholders or business analysts, gather the all requirement, prioritize those all requirement, make a good backlog which we called as a product backlog. After that, prioritize those backlog, based on clients communication, based on business analyst communication. Find out on which area we need to work currently, on which area we have to work for this quarter or upcoming 2 to 3 months, and on which area of requirement we have to work later on. So these are also roles and responsibilities of product owner. These roles and responsibility product owner will follow based on client's communication or business analyst communication. Now it's a job of product owner to provide this product backlog to Scrum team, provide them a detailed information about each and every requirement, resolve or fulfill their all business related queries, provide them good people's as an a COE, like contact person or responsibility person, who can help them if they are facing any sort of issue. Say for example, for technical issues they have to communicate with product architect or solution architect. For business related issues they have to communicate with product owner. If any impediments are not resolved properly or getting delayed, in that case they should communicate with scrum masters. Process related issues they have to communicate with agile coaches. So these are some sort of responsible persons whom they can communicate anytime. So these persons name with contact number and contact addresses product owner should provide after completion of teamwork in particular sprint or in particular time frame. It's a product owner who can invite stakeholders, business peoples and client peoples, and showcase these shippable product in front of them, which we called as a demo. So demo should be arranged by product owners mostly. In most of agile ceremonies product owner should be available, and product owner should be answerable for most of the questions related to requirement and business flows. So these are basically product owners roles and responsibilities. Now what agile managers responsibilities? So agile manager is somewhere working as in a technical skills, conceptual skills. He or she also involved in human or interpersonal skills. So how to develop, how to improve these all skills. Agile manager is responsible for these areas. Planning for project for upcoming 1 quarter or 2 quarter. So these planning should be done by agile project managers, and also provided this copy of planning to entire team members, so that they will also aware in which time or at which area we have to do what kind of work and what is the timeline for that particular work. So this is the reason planning should be done with team members. Communication establishment, this is a agile manager's job and it's a responsibility. Decision making, if agile is working as an agile manager fashion, if organization has provided any agile manager, then it's a job of agile manager to make decision, but based on clients communication and stakeholder communication and based on their priorities. Agile manager can provide a decisions to their team members as well as stakeholders also, not only for team members. I am giving a very simple example. Client is pushing some sort of requirement. Those requirements are not possible to fit in current sprint or in current time box. So it's a job of agile manager to provide pushback to these all requirements and provide this information to clients management or business analyst or stakeholder, why these requirements are not fitted in current time zone, and when we can consider this requirement, why my team is not able to accept these things, on which area currently team is working and what is the team capacity. So based on all these information, it's a job of agile manager to push it back. Now problem solving, teams problems or communication problem, some sort of communication delay problem or some sort of relation problem between internal team members, between management and team, between stakeholders and team. These problems are there which agile manager can resolve anytime. Agile manager also motivating team members so that team member can work more and more flexibly and more uh, effectively. So these are some sort of agile managers roles and responsibility. Now, when to coach the team and when to coach individuals. So guys, this is very simple thing, like when to coach the team. When you are approaching team first time, at that time you have to start your coaching or you have to start your communication with entire team. Now there are few things like to know your employees or to know your team members, and based on this you can start communicating with your team members first, uh, and you can find out at which area coaching or training is required. Now guys, here again there is a slight difference between coaching and training. Training means something which is a written knowledge, which we said as a bookish knowledge. I am providing that knowledge to my team is called training. And coaching means something out of box, something out of that book also. There are some sort of knowledge which I am providing them, which I am providing to my team members so that team can improve their process, team can improve their career, team can improve their knowledge, team can update their knowledge. So this is something comes under coaching. Now you have to find out whether you want to coach them or you want to train them, and based on this you have to find out when you want to coach them or train them. Like I'm communicating with my team and I found that team have some sort of agile knowledge. So what kind of knowledge they have, based on that I can start my coaching or I can start my training. If they are completely fresh, they doesn't know about agile, then I have to start it from scratch and I have to provide right from ABC of agile till Z. So likewise you have to find out and then you have to start your coaching. Now foster the transparencies. How to foster is, so how frequently do I open myself up to others and allow them to get to know me, or have I clearly explained my values and motivations to my team members, or am I clear and consistent in the way I make choices and decisions, or do I tell team members when I make a mistake or discover a fault in my own knowledge base. So these are some sort of foster transparencies you have to keep it with you when you are dealing with your new project or with your new team members. Collaboration is key, so you have to collaborate with you, not only your team but also to collaborate with your management, provide them some sort of information about team, where exactly team is facing lackingness or where exactly team is very good. So you have to provide this information to management, and based on this you have to ask them some sort of time, how much time you required to coach them, how much time you require to implement the agile, and when these guys can expect the constant results. Create clear objectives and goals for your teams and your management as well as client management also. So you have to provide when team will started achieving the goals, where exactly team right now, and to achieve the goal which kind of path team have to take and how to drive through those paths, where exactly team can make mistakes. You have to identify these things also, and you have to provide this clear information to your management and your client also, so that in future it will not create a big noise. Now celebrate success guys. If your team is doing something good, you have to celebrate it within a team. It's not a big deal to celebrate for 5-10 minutes. Like you can ask the team member, you can call the team member, and in front of an entire team you can provide what kind of success that particular person has achieved, and you can ask the team member for a big flaws. So it's easy and it's very natural. If you are celebrating success with your team members, then your team will always work with a big big form of area, or a big enthusiastic areas. So they will work very well, they will provide you massive success in future also. Build mutual trust when you are working with your team members. At that time, make sure your team is trusting on you and you are also trusting on your team. If this trust is available, then you can deal with any sort of issues, any sort of problems within a team. So this is very easy, guys, and this is very important. Pave the way of success is again one of a area. Share constructive feedbacks with management. Ask feedback to client after the demo, after the work of team. And if client has provided any sort of feedback, take it positively, work on it, and make sure next time you can get more and more appreciations. Manage inter teams disputes whenever it happens. Maybe you can manage it one on one communication, maybe you can manage it with bunch of team members communication, but you can easily manage it. Now these are basically the way when to coach the team, when to coach the individuals. It's a visionary coaching partner, facilitator, teacher, mentor. All these roles are available. Sometimes you are working as an advisor from team side, in front of management or in front of client. Sometimes you are working as a hands-on expert for your team members, related to process, related to agile. Sometimes you are working as a facilitator, you can provide them facilitations to your team members. Sometimes you have to act as like a teacher, you are providing them a training. Sometimes you are providing them a coaching. If team members doesn't have pure visionary, or team members doesn't have a pure vision of product or of their work or their culture, then you have to provide them a bigger picture. So these are some sort of teams area are available where you can provide them coachings and trainings. Now, coaching style and when to use them. So guys, coaching styles are very different. So what is your coaching style basically? So you are democratic coaching, you may be uh, authorian coaching, or you may be holistic coaching, you may be autocratic coaching, you may be a vision coaching. So these kind of coachings are available. Now what exactly these coachings are? So democratic coaching means these methods gives the team freedom and accountability, with coach stepping in only when needed, or keep the process going. Including individuals will feel self-empowered and in control, and in encouraged to give input. So in this like this way, democratic coach will act. Democratic coach will provide the entire freedom to team members and just monitor them. If they are doing mistake, then only jump in. Otherwise, democratic coach will let it goes as it is, and provide team members freedom so that they can also feel it, like how agile is working, how agile is driving in their team members. Now Authorian coaching is this is basically a approach where coach decide what to do and when to do and how to do it. So all that required from team is their understanding. Now if your team is completely new and it's just a beginning, of your team in agile. Say for example, my team members are basically experienced people, or they have a good experience in terms of technology, but they haven't have any experience in agile. They are completely new. So in this case, at the beginning, coach will provide them like when to start agile, how to start agile, what to do in agile, so these things, and slowly provide a way or provide a freedom to team members to do their job, to do their work very well. So by this way, authorian coach will work. Now holistic coach, what exactly holistic coach is doing? So when it comes to life coaching style, or holistic coaching leads the way within the belief that everything is connected. This approach and their stories that individuals are some of their parts in order to encourage growth in the workplace. Balance need to be achieved in all aspects of their life, as well as giving employee as a sense of their role in their teams. It can use perspective on their places in the wider business, helping them feel more connected and showing them how they matters. So this is basically a holistic coach is doing. Now autocratic coach, what exactly autocratic coach is doing? So rather than opening a dialogue between leaders and employee, this approach tells individuals what to do rather than asking. So rather than asking questions, or rather than communicating what to do, what is the better way where you can work silently, you can resolve the issues, and you can move forward, you can make your process faster. So this is basically acrobatic coach is doing. Now vision coaching is a style encourage and empowers employee by giving them clear direction and strategies for achieving objectives and encouraging focus. Like a person trainer, this approach feels like partnership and draw on elements of feedback, reflection, and conversation to really motivate and influence employees. So this is basically a visionary coach is doing. And by this way, this particular coach will provide more and more vision in terms of process, in terms of project, in terms of bigger picture of product and project to team members. So by this way guys, you can work. Now setting up environment for a right performance team. So what kind of environment is that? So basically you have to set up a proper environment while you are working with your team members. I'm giving a very simple example guys. I'm starting work with particular team members. Before starting work, I first get to know what exactly their pain point. This is very important. When you know their pain points, at that time only you can work with them, because you know if which things if you do, it may create more pain for their for that particular team members. So this is the reason, get the pain point first and try to provide solutions on those pain points. Slowly you can setting up the environment, agile environment, where you can provide them a flexibility, more working culture, adoptions, updates about their career, about technology, about process, about product, about project, about their working cultures also. And when they are ready to apply it, you have to provide that particular all the things to team members. So this is basically something when you are giving to your team members, at that time your team is started performing well, and then slowly your team can provide you more and more quality work, more and more stable work. At that time you can say that my team is a high performance team, because my team is working in self bootable manner, in self activate manner. They doesn't require much influence or much help from agile coach or scrum master, they know how to complete their job, they know how to face or how to deal with their issues, with their problems, and how to resolve it. They know if they stuck somewhere, whom they have to communicate and how they can accept the solution or get the solution immediately and continue their work. So these teams we called as a high performance team, guys. And if you are starting structurally or slowly or by roadmap, then you can easily make any team as a high performance team. Now setting so when you are starting at that time, you should starting with forming, storming, norming, and performing uh, by this way, and you can create your high performance team. Now detecting and solving problems. So here are some sort of problems which I had given, like goal is. So these may be a oral problem, these may be a written problem, appear to any agile coach, maybe a principal agile coach or expert agile coach, that I am facing so and so issue, and this is the reason I am facing this much confusions or this much blockers, and now I have to come outside of these blockers. Or maybe sometime the problem is very small, but behind that problem or to tell that problem, maybe team member will provide you a bigger essay, like what happens and why that problem arises and where exactly that problem is and how I am feeling bad or how I am feeling pain, so on. So you have to listen all the things, and you have to just pick those bullet points which are important. Based on those bullet points, you have to find out what exactly the goal of that particular person and deal with that goal. I'm giving a very simple example, guys. Here I am traveling to my office through my car. All of a sudden one of my car's tire is busted, so it's a problem. Now I have to replace that tire with a new one, and then I can continue my traveling. So this may be the solution. But to resolve this problem, if I'm creating a story, like I'm started traveling from my home, then I'm facing issue, all of a sudden the tire is busted, then I don't know how to change the tire, I don't know where exactly the jack is, I don't know where exactly the new tire is, I found everything but now I don't know how to fit it or how to make this happen. So this may be a problem. If in a short manner, or if in a short sentence, if I just ask the coach, I just want to change my busted tire, do you have any solution how to make it, because I don't know how to change it. So that will also work. But sometimes this happens, team members come up with a bigger story and the problem is very small. You have to find out what exactly that problem is and what exactly team members want to tell you. So based on that, you have to deal. I'm the examples are available here. Like I want to take a job, but I don't have the transport to get there, and I don't have enough money to buy a car. But what exactly my role is, or what exactly my goal is, I want to take this job because I need money. So this is basically my goal. Now it's a job of agile coach to provide them solutions how to get this job. So you have to prepare for this job, you have to make some study for this job, you should have a good experience for this job, then you can get this job. So these are some sort of solution, and agile coach never provide only one solution. Agile coach always provide more than one solution. If you are working as an enterprise coach or specialized coach or principal coach, then you should have more than one solution always in your pocket. Whenever somebody provide you problems, or whenever somebody provides you their issues or their blockers, at that time you have to provide them more solutions so that they can identify which solution is feasible for them, and where exactly or how that particular solution they can fit it in their problem and they can continue their work. It's not like I am giving only one solution. So it's not like I am giving a decision that you have to go with this solution and you have to resolve your problem. So this should not be happen. So this is the reason agile coach always gives more than one solution, guys. Now, detecting and resolving problems, so maybe visually using pictures or models or diagrams you can resolve the problems. So as an agile coach, when you are dealing with any problems, at that time you should have good pictures or good diagrams related to your models which you have already implemented. Say for example, Scrum model is there, Lean model is there, Safe model is there. So you should have these diagrams, and when any team members communicated with you related to these issues, related to process related issues, at that time you have to provide them where exactly that person is right now, where exactly that person is facing the issue, and what exactly the solution of that particular issue in this particular diagram and how to implement it. So these are the proper ways. Now verbally, if somebody is telling you the problem, then you have to identify what exactly those problem is, what exactly their goal is, and based on their goal you have to provide them solution. But before providing solution, ask them, if you have problem you should have a solution also. This happens very rarely that I have a problem but I don't have a solution. So everybody when come up with problem, they have their own solution also. Listen that particular solution. If it feasible, tell them that they have to work with their solution, they have to apply their solution. If somewhere you required to make some sort of correction, you can make it, you can provide those correction in their solutions and ask them to work with that particular solution. So by this way guys, you can provide solutions on verbal problems also. Now there are some chain diagrams, some flow charts, some tree diagrams, or some sort of lists are also available in agile which you can use to resolve or to deal with such kind of issues or with such kind of problems. Now, agile coach failurity or recovery and success mode. So there are a lot of many areas where agile coach are failure and they make a recovery or they started in a success model. So maybe it's some sort of spy or schedule or opinionator or admin hub, butterfly expert or nag. So these are some sort of ways where agile coach is facing a failurities, or maybe these options agile coaches use for their recoveries and their success models. Now when agile coach faces failurity, at that time there are some sort of reasons. Maybe somewhere the cultural issues, maybe somewhere the management support issues. So here if you see, it's a percentile, like due to what reason agile is failed. Maybe company philosophy and culture is different than agile values, maybe lack of experience in agile methodology, maybe scrum master is weak to implement the agile process. This is the reason agile is failed. Maybe lack of management support, maybe lack of support from cultural transitions, or maybe lack of support from knowledge improvement or training side. So teams are not properly trained. This is the reason maybe agile is failure, or maybe unwillingness of team to follow the agile, or maybe team is started or continuing agile with lot many myths which are available on Google and in entire world. So due to this reason maybe agile is failed, or maybe inefficient collaboration. So lot many reasons are available behind agile failing. So when it fails, agile coach has to find out what exactly the key reason. So these are some sort of key reasons which I had provided here. So likewise agile coach has to find out what exactly the key reason by because of that agile is failing in project or with team, and make to make some sort of correction in those area, rectify those things, communicate with management, convince management that how agile is why agile is fail and where exactly we have to make changes, and based on these changes maybe we will provide you more and more success. So after that only we can provide a success agile project, a success agile team, guys. So guys, we will stop here. Anyone have any queries, any question, can ask me.
Yes, Gayana. The main one, 46%, is about culture or philosophy. What do you do when culture is different, when values are different? How do you? I know you speak a lot about this, but now I have heard from one director that we just should change the culture of these people. They don't do it properly.
Yeah,
So
this this is happen. This
there
is
is one director in BP. I don't say which one.
yeah, no problem, no problem. I can understand. Yeah, but this happens in most of organizations, that not only director but most of management people also says that we have to change the culture, or we have to brought the agile culture now in our organization, and we have to move everything in agile way. But this is not happen in overnight, or this is not possible within 1 or 2 days. So make a changes in culture. So first you should know what exactly culture we are following, and how to move it from current culture to agile culture. So you should know what exactly agile culture is, and when you know both the culture, at that time slowly you have to start communicate with your team members, with your peers, with your organizational people, and start transformation, mind transformation, which we say, where if people started moving mindly from current culture or current philosophy to agile philosophy, then slowly we can implement the agile culture. But again, this is a time consuming task. If your management is asking you to make changes in culture, tell your management this is not an overnight process, you should provide us much time for this, but we will provide you success. Maybe within 5 or 6 months you can see a very small result in cultural changes, and then after slowly you can see more and more results. So by this way, when you communicate with your management, at that time management will also consider that this much time also required. I hope I answer your question.
Yes, what I heard about timing is like 5 to 6 months, slow results. And what I answered to this director that, in my humble opinion, it takes years to change culture.
Yeah, definitely. If
Then,
you
then it,
if you have more hard teams, then it took a year also. If you have less hard team means the teams which are not ready to leave their previous philosophy. So if you have less teams, and if you have more teams which are ready to acquire new changes, or who are ready to learn new things, then maybe you can start moving in new culture very soon.
mm, what I still recommended was like, when you want a little bit faster, then you should hire, headhunt people who culturally fit, and they may a little bit help to this speed up this cultural change. And
Yes.
he's hiring. His organization is growing, so he is able to do it.
Yes, definitely. And I will suggest, when you are making changes in cultural, don't start it from bottom. Start it from top. Because when it started from top, at that time you can move it more faster. If you are starting it from bottom, then maybe top management or top guys are not ready to accept it easily. But if you started from top management, then it automatically move from higher management to lower management, and it's easy for you to drive this culture very easily and make them aware about agile and their values.
Yes, agree very much from my experience.
Yeah. Any more queries? Any more questions, guys?
Um, here is really one question.
Yeah.
For agile managers, we have an, let's say, ongoing culture
Hmm.
and, let's say, cultural change and change in organization as we are working in squads and we have managers who are leading chapters and how agile should, let's say, a squad lead compared to a chapter lead, and what methods could be, let's say, used to improve work in squads and, let's say, agile manager for chapter leads.
Okay. There are lot many methods are available to improve chapter leads, guild leads, squad leads, tribe leads, and your agile managers also. But again, if I want to say a simplest way, then time to time agile coach should communicate with all these leaders, say squad lead, tribe lead, chapter leads, and your managers related to agile, what exactly available in current situation or with current team. You have to discuss it with your these leaders. Maybe you can set up a weekly call, one call in every week, and this weekly call you can provide them what exactly we are doing right now, where exactly we have improvement chances, and how these improvement we can do in this meeting or in this invite. Maybe you can provide how squad leads can improve, how chapter leads can improve, how managers can improve. But again, um, all these leaders should take this improvement very positively. If anyone is not taking it positively, then it's a job of agile coach to make them aware or to convince them why these improvements are important in your Spotify model, and how you can drive this Spotify model more culturally and more flexibly, and how you can get more and more success result when you can say that your Spotify model is working very well with your team, and every team is working as in a high performance team. And when this happens, the teams are working high performly because their squad leads, their chapter leads, their guild leads, their tribe leads, and their managers are working effectively. They know agile much better, and they are ready to accept those improvement, those changes in their entire process. um, I'm giving a very simple example here. If I'm eating daily burger in a morning, in a breakfast I'm eating burger, same burger I'm eating in a lunch, same burger I'm eating in my dinner, and same burger I'm eating in my next day's breakfast. So I'm doing these things for down the line 2 months. Do you think after 2 months I will see that burger? I will not see that burger, because same thing I'm doing. I want some sort of change. If in my taste I'm finding out the change, it's bit obvious. The process which we are running in our team, that process also needs some sort of improvements, that process also need some sort of changes. And if these changes, after applying these changes, if your squad leads, your tribe lead, your chapter leads is agree for these changes, or ready for these changes, or ready to wait for these changes, then it's easy for you to make your collaboration or to make your team more and more better in your agile ways. So you have to first find out the mindset of all these leaders and convince them that they have to ready for changes which changes we want to implement. You have to identify those changes, you have to provide it on bullet point, and you have to tell them when these changes will appear in teams or in process, and what kind and what will happen after implementing these changes, so that only you can make some sort of modifications. I hope I answer your question.
One question in addition. Do you think it is better to coach, for example, disciplinary leads, the manager, personally, or let's say make the same method, follow similar methods for retrospective with a chapter or only on scope?
As an agile coach, you can start coaching from your managing director to till the peon of your gate of your organization. You can coach anyone. There is no restriction.
Thank you. So it is better to let's say to have a personal coaching in this case, even if needs are let's say have waterfall mind said. So they did this for 20 years and now they are doing agile.
Mm-hmm.
And to become more agile, maybe it is better to have let's say direct talk or personal coaching.
Yes, definitely. And you can provide them what is the difference between waterfall and agile coach. What exactly mini waterfall, what exactly mini agile, because this is somewhat hidden. Mini agile and mini waterfall is somewhat hidden process which may followed under agile. So this is the reason you can provide this difference, and you can provide them what exactly pure agile is. If we apply pure agile, then what benefits we get, what kind of pains they are right now facing, maybe lot many escalations or daily escalations from client sides or from team sides. So we can avoid these things. Their life will also goes in a peace, and team's life will also goes in a peace. So you can provide these all benefits, all advantages of agile one on one, and then you can provide them, like, if we are applying agile, we required some sort of time. See, if I'm saying I want to change my mind from traditional to agile, it's not easy job. I want some time to make changes because I have to wash out my previous knowledge or my previous experience, and I have to provide a new space for new method, new technology, new process. So it will take some time. So this is the reason, tell these things also to your management, and when your management is convinced for them for all these things, then provide a step by step approach, how step by step you can approaching to your team, your project, and how you are going to implement agile with your team or with your projects. So there are lot many ways, this is one of it, but there are again lot many ways are available to deal in these areas.
Thank you.
Yeah, any more queries, any more question? No query, no question. Okay, so guys, I'm stopping here. We will meet Monday, same time, same place. Monday is my last session, and it's a second part of advanced agile coach training. We will meet Monday. Till the time, guys, please stay safe and have a nice day and have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.